It's actually the very first bar of its kind in the city of Paris. In the back shop, owner Elie Daviron is getting ready to skillfully handle various products that normally should be strictly banned from all kitchens. In these bags, small articulated creatures that crawl or fly. There you go.
The beetle crises.
And which don't look very appetizing.
So this one is a little bit impressive.
It's a giant water bug from the large family of cockroaches. That you can eat.
You can eat that. You can eat it whole, including the head. It's very crispy, quite tasty. There's a subtle hint of coriander and dried fruits, giving it a delightful flavor.
In total, Kelly Daviron orders 5 species of grilled and dehydrated insects directly from Thailand. This 26-year-old chef, seeking new experiences, launched his insect bites last October. Tapas proudly featuring mandibles and antennas. We serve about 50 here each evening. They are sold between 4 and 9 euros per plate and attract customers from all over the Paris region. Here, a whole little family. And right next to them, a group of friends who are going to tackle the highlight of the show, the giant water bug. Eating insects is surprising and quaint, but this trend is inspired by a very serious UN finding. By 2030, insects will definitely have become essential to feed 9 billion humans. Rich in protein, they are already consumed by 1/3 of the planet. There are over 1 million species of insects on Earth, and 1,900 are edible. In France, some now want to turn it into a business. Cédric Oriol believes so much in this future market that he embarked on a peculiar adventure. Insect production proudly made here in France. It all started with about 10 larvae. He's actually the first insect breeder in the whole country.
When I made that decision back in 2011, I was seen as a bit of a nutcase by quite a significant number of people around me. The idea of producing insects for food in France, for the French to eat, was widely considered crazy by most people I explained my project to back then. They found it strange and unconventional.
Manager of an import-export company, Cédric invested 250,000 euros of his own funds into this farm. He currently produces a ton of insects per month and rents a 650 square meter facility. In his trays, there are more than 1 million house crickets chirping just like in Provence. And when you bite into them, they supposedly have a very subtle corn flavor. A little further, the baker's nightmare became Cédric's treasure. It's the land of flower glasses.
So there you go, this little white larva.
Want to feed this to the French?
I want to make the French eat this. And I think that in a few years, the French will be scared of flower glass and will eat it much more frequently than today.
Because according to scientific studies, these insects possess exceptional nutritional properties, packed with minerals and omega-3. They are also higher in protein than meat.
This is roughly what 60 grams of flour looks like.
And that, how does it compare to meat?
That would be equivalent to a serving of meat.
A serving of steak?
Yes, exactly. It would be like a 100-gram beefsteak, illustrating the portion size well.
Another advantage is that you can stack the crates from floor to ceiling. No need for space to raise tons of insects. Finally, these little creatures are less voracious than other animals. Gaël, one of Cédric's 6 employees, takes care of feeding the crickets.
To ensure we keep feeding them plenty of cereal all the time.
To produce a kilogram of insects, it takes 9 times less feed than for a kilogram of meat. What do these little creatures eat? So it's a mix of cereals. So there's wheat, barley, which allow them to grow quickly and stay healthy. But the world of the tiny is also very fragile.
You must be extremely careful not to crush them because even the weight of a single zucchini slice could potentially kill them.
A small detail you might not think about. In his early days, Cedric wiped out entire herds. He had to learn everything from A to Z and come up with clever tricks like this chicken waterer to get his crickets to drink comfortably and efficiently. The insects are ready to be consumed after 3 months of breeding. They will be heated, dehydrated, and subsequently marketed online. The farm already has 2,000 clients in France, including the residents of this house in Toulouse. Melanie, a real estate agent, consumes insects about once a month, particularly in quiche. Mealworms instead of bacon. My parents travel a lot. They've eaten them in Asia. So they discovered the insect product like that. And when they arrived in France, they searched on the internet to see if it was being made in France. And there you go. They stumbled upon this company. And since then, regularly, let's say, we eat insects at the table. As production is still artisanal in France, insects remain a very expensive product for now, 150 euros per kilo. But it's a condiment that spices up everyday life, our famous quiche. Well baked, golden. Enjoy your meal. Thank you.
Ouais, ça sent pas du tout la fraîche. Ça sent la quiche. Ça sent la quiche.
Insects still very much remain a niche market.
Allez, c'est vivant.
But it is currently developing in France. On the internet, coming from Asia, you can find insects by the kilo, ants, as you like. Everything you need to try entomophagy. At present, these brand new foods are neither authorized nor explicitly prohibited in Europe. Taking advantage of unclear laws, the French insect breeder is about to reach a much wider audience. Cedric Coriol is finalizing a project with this big store in Toulouse. Over 2 million customers visit these aisles every year.
The basic idea was to work with insects, starting with a powder form initially.
He came up with an idea to make insects more acceptable to the general public. Cookies made with 5 to 10% insect flour.
We're having a grilled lemon biscuit here. And here, we're looking at a biscuit made with a unique and interesting ingredient. Tomato, a glass of flour, which can rather be enjoyed during the aperitif, because we're talking about a savory biscuit. I think it will be much easier to persuade consumers to choose this appealing option over eating dried cricket. Wouldn't you also think so? In this manner, it's not entirely obvious.
The packet should be sold for around 5 euros. The word insect is clearly indicated on the label, as well as their origin. The insects are born and raised.
With love, and in the south of France, we're really talking about a local product.
Another marketing argument, a scientific sheet on the ecological and nutritional benefits of the product. It's the first time Cedric will offer tastings of his specialties in a supermarket. According to the market studies conducted by the farmer, 20% of consumers are completely opposed to insects, similar to oysters or snails.
Dad, it's going to be the plain grilled one, not flavored at all, as we discussed earlier.
We are the little wines. Have you given up on the little wines? At first, I was a bit apprehensive, but I must admit that the taste is quite amazing. I preferred lemon over tomato, but would you be willing to buy some? Not to bring home yet. I think the family might not necessarily be united around me, but as we gradually discuss it, for me, it was an opportunity to taste. By organizing regular tastings, Cedric and the hypermarket hope to sell 500 bags of biscuits per week within a few months. Insects are gradually making their way onto the shelves. But also,
Chef, ça passe deux menus insectes.
into high-end French cuisine.
Charlotte, deux menus insectes.
David Fort is the owner of this restaurant, Une Étoile in Nice. This chef, who loves to innovate and provoke, added an insect-based menu to his offerings last April. It starts with an amuse-bouche, which features a delicious pea square, carrot foam, and even a tiny glass of flour, like they came from a fruit. You don't hide them.
You? No. The point was it would have been easy to crush them and put them under a topping. The goal of the game is to say to ourselves, since we'll work around insects, we'll highlight them. And then it's nice to set up a little scene. It's really the little provocative wink, so the client understands what they are getting into.
The next part is truly even more spectacular. To enhance the rich corn flavor of the cricket, the chef will serve a delightful creamy corn. Seared foie gras, popcorn snow, and here too, he's definitely not stingy with the critters.
This guy, he's happy to be here. I think so. It deserves to be highlighted. It's a product like any other. Cooking's our trade. I enjoy an anchovy fillet as much as lobster, so why not cricket? Let's end.
This four-course menu costs 59 euros and is ordered daily by customers who appreciate its delightful variety. And it is served with the same solemnity as the other dishes. And we continue with this creamy corn. Here, the little crickets are in their element. Also, the corn looks like insects had nibbled on it. These regulars at the restaurant are having their first entomogastronomic experience. Well, so here we finally are. Here we are, here we are.
We're there, and
You can't even complain by saying there's an insect in my plate. It's crazy.
you know,
You must be crazy.
do that.
Because there are insects on the plate, you know. So it's huge. In the posh world of gastronomy, David Ford is taking a real risk. The risk of losing his star by ennobling pests to parasites, by turning them into little jewels.